Good day everyone, my name is Marian Samson, the reporter of Lecture 13. Lecture 13 was all about the discourse theory. The discourse theory was conceptualized by Evelyn Hatch. It is among the theories that came into birth and developed rapidly in the past 5 decades with the emergence of second language acquisition research worldwide. Obviously, language was a big part in communication, especially in interacting. The theory emphasized that language development should be viewed within the framework of how the learner discovers the meaning capacity of language by taking part in communication. Discourse discuss about a topic either in writing or face-to-face. Definition of terms discourse. It is a technical term for conversation. Discourse was derived from Latin word which is discursus, which means running to and from, and denotes written and spoken communication, any connected pieces of speaking and writing. Discourse theory is a language that can be learned by communicating with a target language speaker. The idea that language learner evolves out of learning how to carry on conversation, and learners discover the potential meaning of language by participating in communication. So we have 4 types of discourse. We have description, the narration, exposition, and the argumentation. Communication is treated as the matrix of linguistic knowledge, such that if we want to acquire a second language, the main ways to learn is by making a lot of interaction with the target speaker. Even for the first language acquisition to be successful, interaction rather than exposure is required. The relevance of discourse theory in language acquisition. Linguists traditionally define a sentence as the basic unit of expression. A sentence is defined as a group of words that make sense. Most utterance and text are in fact more than a sentence. The surrounding text of the sentence gives it a deeper meaning. Subsequently, it gives validity and depth of meaning to a discourse. To understand the meaning of a sentence in its full meaning, the reader is helped by the surrounding text to get clarity of thought and meaning. Discourse theory states that all the relevant text around a message should be considered to understand it clearly and universally, instead of viewing it as a standalone sentence. Because theory aims to persuade, to inform, to discover for one's own needs, and also to create. Andrew Clifford, in his work, Discourse Theory and Performance-Based Assessment, 2 tools for professional interpreting proposes using discourse theory to develop assessment instruments. He has made some groundbreaking observations relevant to interpreters all over the world. The impact of discourse theory is tremendous, especially in the translation industry. When a sentence is translated from one language to another, discourse theory allows the purity of the message to be transferred into another language. In discourse theory, thoughts and words are organized systematically for greater understanding. Discourse theory and second language acquisition. The discourse theory has great implications in an educational context. It shows how written, visual, and oral text give more depth to the text when the context is understood. Yes, no? It has a great implications in educational context. Just like, for example, our professors. They gave us a understandable notes or lectures. It's not just our professors, but all the teachers who made the modules, diba, kay ilang gi-organize yun og maayo. Interaction and categorization between teachers and students can be understood more deeply in the relevant circumstance, in the social context. The thoughts and connections between teachers and students during the process of teaching and language acquisition develop the rigorous nature of pedagogy. In this scenario, ideas and concepts will be mutually understood. Yes, mas magkasinabtanay ang teacher and students kung konektado sila sa usag-usa. Especially kung ang language kay daw naa kay estudyante nga dili ka balong Bisaya. They only speak Tagalog or English. How can a student understand you if you can only speak to your student in Bisaya? As a teacher, we need to be transparent. Kailangan na to mo speak kung unsay nahibalaan sa tanan para magkasinabtanay. Discourse theories, language acquisition will successfully take place when language learners know and how when to use the language in various settings and when they have successfully cognized various forms of competence such as grammatical competence in lexics, morphology, syntax, and phonology, and pragmatic competence, e.g. speech acts. A language learners need to know conversational strategies to acquire the language. Discourse analysis is defined as the analysis of language beyond the sentence. Discourse analysis considers the larger discourse context in order to understand how it affects the meaning of the sentence. For example, Charles Fillmore pointed out that two sentences taken together as a single discourse can have meanings different from each one taken separately. The first example was, "Please use the toilet, not the pool." Pool for members only, and that's the second example. If you regard each sign independently, they seem quite reasonable, but taking them together as a single discourse makes go back and revise your interpretation of the first sentence after you've read the second. So, simple lang ang examples, no? Pools is for members only. So, kung dili ka member or wala na na-appeal sa imong gi-avail, you can use pool. Kung gusto ka maligo, okay, pwede. Pero, dito sa CR. No? Simply says that. I think that's the end of the presentation. Thank you guys and God bless.